You're listening to the podcast where we talk about life, sports, family, and everything in between. Welcome to Just Talking Out Loud with your hosts, Ron and Terry.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
And we're in our dungeon.
Yes.
We're literally in a dungeon. Kind of. Camping. It's like camping. We got a little camping light.
Blankets all around
I got these
us.
blankets all over the place. I have no light because the blankets are covering what light we do have. And it's really not much down here, to be honest.
Just cold.
It's cold. Yeah, I knew that was. That's why I covered the windows. I thought maybe
That'd help.
keep the breeze off your back.
And keep it from
We're trying to
sound.
find a place that we can do this. Although I'm hearing all these noises.
It would be nice if we
driving me
could
nuts.
find a place that we could just leave it set up.
Well, this isn't too bad for now, but who knows? Okay.
Yeah.
So coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about resumes. People putting a lot of resumes in. We're going to find out what words you really shouldn't use in a resume. Also, we're going to talk about some people and what they kind of lie on their resume, which is not a
I've heard.
Not a
I've had
great
people
idea.
when I worked at the bank. One of the girls lied and got moved to another office, and they figured out very quickly that she didn't know anything about what she said she was doing at a previous job.
we're going to talk about that. Also, some misspelled words on a resume. You might be surprised what the most common misspelled
word
is, because a lot of times it doesn't. When you do like autocorrect, it won't catch it.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. Also, where'd my paper go? It's so dark in here, I can't really see. We're going to talk predictions that were made in 1923 that they thought was going to happen in 2023. So you might be surprised by some of those. Men hang on to this certain thing in the household. We'll talk about that. Do you still have your Christmas? Not that. They're not hanging on to that, although they might be hanging on to that. Maybe they're desperate, like I am. I hang on to it every now and then.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm
You're
very
so
desperate. Yeah, I'm very
right.
desperate.
You're not desperate.
Oh, I'm desperate. I'm desperate, baby. Maybe I get one of them. There was a story about a guy that bought a doll, and it looks so real. It is uncanny.
That stupid
He bought a doll, and he says he doesn't
cowboy
get a lot
that sits at my mom scares me every once in a while. I forget his name.
Oh, we walk in the door. Well, no,
it
it doesn't look. This actually looks extremely real, and he dresses it up and takes it everywhere. That must be really. He doesn't get any nagging, and then she's always there when he's ready, and he doesn't have to say, "Oh, I have a headache," or "Don't feel right," or things don't, want to get the doll out. Do you still have your Christmas lights up? We'll talk about that first. I think we'll do things in reverse.
No, we
maybe.
don't. We take them down.
We took them down
New Year's Eve or New Year's Day.
I think we took them down.
We usually take them down New Year's Day.
If we get to it, we'll talk about some reasons that people are calling it off with their partner. And some of these things, they just get to the point where they just had enough of certain things that after a while, you just can't take it anymore.
Hey,
and
I've done that with different people. Just said I've had enough, and guess what? I ain't hanging with you too much
and
anymore.
do you hide from your
because of it.
family? But being this is February, this is the first week of February, I thought what we could start out with is a lot of times they have, there's awareness months. Like for instance, for February, it's Black History Month. It's every February. It's Black History Month. It's also Humpback Whale Awareness Month. So it's a good time to get, maybe your stuff together. Maybe you need to read a book about the humpback whales and be more, aware of them and appreciate the humpback whale. So it's Humpback Whale Month. It's also National Cancer Prevention Month, which I would think should be every month. I'd like to prevent cancer from everybody if we could. American Heart Month. Low Vision Awareness Month. If you can't see that, then you might have a problem. National Bird Feeding Month. If there's birds here in Western PA. I think there's some birds. I hear some birds chirping.
But if
It's
they're
also
smart, they went south.
Well, you would think. Yeah, but if they didn't, then you need to feed them. I'm not feeding a bird because all they do is poop on my car after I feed them. It never fails. Pre-Dental Health Month. That's also National Cat.
Dental. That's what I want like this.
Is that what
I thought we put bulletin boards
Oh,
out
so you
in
knew it was
February,
dental month.
Yeah.
Good time to get your teeth cleaned if you hadn't cleaned in a while. National Cat Health Month. So if you have a cat, it'd be a great time to have your pussy checked. And then there's Adopt or Rescue Rabbit. Pussycat.
Rescue rabbit.
It's Adopt a Rescued Rabbit Month. So if you have a rabbit, or you're looking, maybe your kids want a rabbit as a pet, then you can adopt a rescued rabbit.
Where's he rescued from?
Well, that's a good question. It doesn't really say. It just asks you to adopt a rescued rabbit. I'm trying to think, would I rather have a rabbit or a cat? Now, if you look at the pros and cons, a cat, if you have a mouse problem, usually the cat would take care of that problem, right?
Yeah.
A rabbit's not going to do that. A rabbit's just going to ignore the mouse.
And when your kids' dogs come over, your rabbit better hide really good.
That's true. Your bunny could be in big trouble, especially with Rigby, because
he's a good hunter.
Well, not just that. He would probably smell the butt first and then kill it. That probably would be how Rigby would check the butt. It's a rabbit. Boom. He's gone. He must be a stuffed animal. And he does it. So those are just some of the things for this month. I think we'll do that every month. We'll just start out the month with what is the awareness month. So there's some things on here that we could all try and better ourselves. I wonder if we're still doing our resolutions. You think we're over those now? Are they gone? Do you think most people have gotten through January and thought,
I didn't get through mine very well.
Well, what resolutions did you have?
I was going to eat better, and we've had more junk in the house.
We have had a lot of junk food in this house, and
we bought it for New Year's Eve, and it's still here.
I know. I
mean, chips and stuff like that. Like, we're still opening bags of chips, and crap.
Have you visited? Oh, I know we haven't, but I'm going to ask this question anyway. And YouGov did a survey. They wanted to know if you'd visited any of the following U.S. landmarks at some point in your life. And if you would like to, it doesn't really say what you like to, but I guess I know you always want to go to the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
What about Mount Rushmore? Is that something you'd like to see?
I wouldn't mind that either.
It's funny because Mount Rushmore, according to this survey, and I lost it, is 22% yes and 73% no, which is kind of surprising.
It is kind of.
They don't want to see that. Liberty Bell.
I've seen that.
Oh, you have seen that?
Yeah, when we went college shopping.
Oh, that's right. 25% said yes. 69% no. Haven't visited it. How about Pearl Harbor in Hawaii?
I would like to go to Hawaii.
76% of the survey said they hadn't seen it. Statue of Liberty.
We've been there. I've been there.
Yeah,
couple times.
36% have seen it. 62 have not, or 70. Wait a minute, where is it? This is hard to read because I'm trying to follow it across, and it's
not all right.
So Statue of Liberty, 59% said no, they haven't seen it. The White House, 35%. Have I seen the White House? I think I drove. Did I?
I don't know.
No, maybe not. Who knows?
I have.
If you had to pick a place, that you'd like to see or like to visit besides the Grand Canyon, is there something that interests you?
Just Hawaii.
I know, but that's not really is this a landmark?
Oh, a landmark?
St. Louis Gateway Arch, you saw that.
Yes, I've been
You went there. The National Mall in D.C. Now, Times Square. Did you go to Times Square? Yeah, you did go to Times Square.
I've been all over New York, yeah. That's thanks to Zachary.
And then they were asking, if you did visit some of these places, would you recommend it to someone else? And the Hollywood Walk of Fame, 35% recommend, 40% somewhat recommend, 15% said, just a walk. I mean, it's just
a walk
of Fame
with their names on it.
With actors and actresses. I mean, really?
Unless you're really into one of them actresses and you want to take a picture of their stone,
Statue of Liberty, 65% said yeah.
Yeah, I think that the Statue of Liberty should be something that everyone should want to. I mean, in Ellis Island, how the people came over, like our ancestors came over, and it's not like now. They had to pass a test to get in, and they had to be able to read and write in their own language, and they had to have a health screening before they came in. Everyone acts like we're so bad now for wanting those things, but that was always a part of our history, that, you came into Ellis Island and you were checked out by a doctor and you were screened and everything before your family was let in. And if someone was sick, they all were held to make sure it wasn't anything major.
Not today. Today we just let
them in with COVID or whatever,
Put them in a stadium.
Go on in, yep.
Come on in. Yesterday we had our grandson. Of course, this won't be played for
quite a couple weeks.
But I want to talk about it because I'm sure that Sunday before this airs, we'll see him again. And I'm realizing that I'm getting old.
Yes.
I was exhausted. I've been exhausted all day today.
He would not do anything with me yesterday, though. I tried to catch him and kiss him, and, he would just scream and holler every time I would come near him. It was like...
I was exhausted. I think, we talked about our kids having kids and waiting a little bit. And I mean, that's fine. You have to do things in time when you're ready. But as I get older, I'm starting to feel...
I know why we had ours young. And
that's because we were horn dogs.
Well, no, because we got married young, too. The kids nowadays are not getting married at 19 years old.
Yeah, but also, though, in their defense and you were actually got pregnant. We weren't really planning.
Oh, no.
On having the first one.
We were barely married a year and we were pregnant.
You were taking you were sick or something, and then they said it affected the birth control.
It shouldn't have, but it did.
But something didn't. It was just time. I was only 21 when he was born.
I was 21, yeah.
Or was I 20? No,
I was 22. I just turned 22. So you were 21. You were just turned 21.
So, but we grew up with our kids. And we're we're still healthy.
Yeah.
I don't want people to think, oh, you're...
Yeah. It's just that if they would have had them as young as we did, we'd have one in 6th grade. Now we'd be going to soccer games or baseball games or whatever they were into. Maybe the school play, whatever, depending on whether it was a boy or a girl. And, enjoying them.
Yeah, I mean,
of course, we could. Our kids are spaced out enough that we could have one in 6th grade and one newborn from the last one, too.
That's true. Yeah, so it's hard to,
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a lot of fun. He's just, he's growing so fast. It won't be long. He'll be looking for Grandpa's wallet, and I'll just probably give it to him because that's what we do. All right, so let's talk about if you're going on maybe you're putting in resumes, and there's this thing going around now where we touched on it last week about people leaving their jobs and not giving 2 weeks notice. And I just don't understand that concept. Here's my view, and I'll see what you think, Tara. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. And this is old school. We're both, we're in our 50s, upper 50s. I don't always I feel good sometimes until he leaves, and then I feel like I'm 57. But here's my thing. So I've always given 2 weeks notice. You have too. And I always think of it this way. Now, you don't want to burn bridges, but the other thing I was thinking the other night when I was thinking about this, when I was thinking about putting this all together for the podcast, is when you don't you don't put in 2 weeks. I don't know how bad the job was or whatever, okay? But regardless.
I mean, there are certain circumstances that I may not give 2 weeks. Like if I felt abused, like if I felt harassed.
Yeah, I guess. But here's my point.
But then I might take sick days for those 2 weeks or something. You know what I mean? I just, but I don't.
My whole thing is, let's just say it was not a bad job. You're just looking for something else.
Or if you got injured and you were on workman's comp and then you decided to just go.
Let's say you get another job and then that job, it's all right. And you leave that job to go to another job. What if that person that you work for or
the very first time
got a better job and now is a manager at this other job, and then just sometimes
it comes back to bite you. It
comes back to get you, and that's all I'm trying to say. Is
someone that you worked with at the first place where you didn't give notice could know you second or third or fourth place that you moved to. And
yeah, they remember that stuff.
And they remember that and say, well, you know what? We're not going to hire you because I know you from X company and you didn't give notice, and I don't want you to just walk out on us here.
I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, all circumstances are different. I know that, but I just feel like you give 2 weeks. How bad could it be just giving 2 weeks notice, right? I mean, you've already put up with umpteen years, or maybe, I don't know. Now, if you've just, there's been times we've heard one of our friends say that they've gone to lunch and never come back.
Yeah.
Because it was that bad. And now that's,
and that was, the office. It was a bad office.
A bad situation. But I don't know. I just, that's my view. It doesn't make it right. I'm just saying, for me, you do 2 weeks. I've done 2 weeks at Pliger. I've done, 2 weeks here and there. I've been very fortunate with the jobs I have. I got the best job in the world now. But I don't know. It's just my view on it.
I think, you should give the 2 weeks notice.
But that's touching on that. And then as far as if you're putting in a resume, obviously this is your chance to make a good impression. A resume is very important. And if it's done right, then you might get a chance at least an interview. And they say that it's your first chance to make a good impression with hiring managers. One misspelled word, they say might not seem like a huge deal, but it could be. Because it could be like they think maybe you're lazy, maybe you didn't check over, maybe you expected word to do the job for you and it didn't. And it says that it could mean the difference between looking competent and appearing lazy. A survey found 63% of employers would reject a job candidate who had just one or more typos on the resume, and the most misspellings on resumes slip through the cracks because of spell check doesn't check at all. And one of the biggest misspelled words is lead, because people will spell LED, or maybe they put LED, didn't put the A in. Like they'll say, if you're talking about how you run meetings at your current job, I led meetings. And if you missed, like maybe you spelled too fast and it came in LED, which is still lead.
Right.
The spell check might not catch it because it sounds the same, just not spelled the same. And the correct spelling is LEAD, lead, which is in the present tense. If the bullet point is, I don't know, this thing goes on, but the idea is if you're going to put in a resume, really, really, really have somebody that you trust look it over, right? I mean, and now they're different. I think resumes have even changed a little bit. They don't.
Yeah, because a lot of them are like online. You just put your, like Indeed or whatever, you just put it online. You put your resume out there, and then you get invites to apply for jobs from there.
Right, and I think with
so
lead,
if you went really quick and filled out your resume,
Yeah, and then they talk about some words that you really shouldn't use on a resume. A career builder survey found managers and human researchers don't want to see these words on your resume. Best of breed. I don't know why you would put that on there. A go-getter. Did you think you ever used go-getter in your
Very
synopsis?
ambitious.
That's not on here, but I mean, that might be okay. Ambitious. Think outside of the box. They don't want to see that. Synergy. They don't want to know if you have any synergy, I guess. Go-to person. They don't want to see that on your resume. So if you're putting any of these in your resume.
If you want in the building at 7:00 in the morning, I'm the go-to person.
Yeah, I know, but you don't put that in the resume.
Because I'm the only one there. And if you go to another door, you're not getting in.
That's true, but that's because you already have the job. So you are the go-to. But in order to get the job, you might not want to put go-to person.
Yeah.
If you need to get in. Thought leadership. Results driven.
Results driven?
Yeah, like you want results,
yeah.
And you're driven to see those results.
The results, yeah.
They don't want to see team player on your resume.
That's odd because most people, you want a team player. You don't want someone who's going to be the boss and get on everyone's nerves.
True, but I think a lot of people could put team player and you're really not a team player. I mean, you could put that on your resume. It doesn't mean you really are a team player.
Oh, yeah. There's people that have called themselves team players that just...
I mean, there's they say
they're out
team,
for their
but
own
there's an I in their
paycheck,
team.
and that's it. Yes, yeah.
Their team spelled with an I.
Yes.
Hard worker. They don't want to see on a resume.
They don't want to see hard worker.
Nope. Because again, I think...
I mean, I've heard our hardworking, energetic person. You know what I mean?
This sounds like my resume.
Yeah.
All the words I put on there. I'm a team player and I'm hard driven. I'm results driven. I'm a hard worker. I'm a strategic thinker.
They don't want to see that.
I don't see that either. No. Dynamic. I wouldn't put dynamic anyway because I'm not a dynamic person. Self-motivated.
Well, if you're working from home, you may have to be self-motivated.
Yeah, I think you do. Because for me,
if you got all this work sitting over here and they gave you the whole week to do it, you may be waiting until Thursday or Friday and then finding out, hey, that's a lot more than I thought it was. I've only done one little thing off that list every day, and then you're working all weekend to get it done.
The hard part for me would be, there's my work, but there's the laundry, there's the dishes. Well, that the bathroom needs clean. You know what I mean? That would be hard for me to get in. You'd have to separate yourself somehow, even though you're in the house. I don't know how you would do that.
That these are the hours I'm in front of that computer or whatever.
Self-motivated, detailed oriented. They don't want to see
detailed oriented used to be. That's when when we were in college and
they would tell you
to put stuff like that. Yes,
and then track record. They don't want to see your track record. I mean, I don't know if you'd put track record. I mean, just put your accomplishments. You don't have to put. So I don't know. Is track record mean the things that
accomplishments? I would think they're about the same thing. Yeah.
So it's a little weird, but those are some of the words they don't want to see on your resume. Now, I guess all companies are different. I mean, if you're applying to McDonald's or Taco Bell, they're probably just if you come in with a T-shirt
and
jeans and you
show up, they're probably happy.
I would think they wouldn't care what you say on your resume. We need you. Just get in here. Ask, are you going to show up at least 2 times a week before you take the job? At least 2, maybe 3. We'd really like you to be here 4, but do you think you can commit to 4 days? I think you'd have to ask that.
Yeah, because people are just not.
I think they find reasons to call off anything. They just
kids don't.
The
come
work
to school
ethic
nowadays.
are tough, man, and they don't have the work ethic.
Kids don't come to school either.
Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe we're just all going to be on TikTok and that's how you're going to make their money, doing TikTok videos. I don't know. If you can make a lot of money with it, I guess go for it. So some of the words that are misspelled, lead, L-E-A-D, or spelled L-E-D, you don't want to spell lead. You don't want to spell it as lead, L-E-D. And then we know that some of the words on the resume, if you're dynamic or results driven, they don't care. Or a hard worker. I would think I would care, but then again, these are words you could put on a resume and not really do those things. So are you lying about what's on your resume? 55% have said they lied on their resume at least once. When they surveyed all these people 18 and over, they said that they've lied about certain things. Some of the reasons why they lie, one reason people change personal details, they say, is to avoid racial discrimination. Names with Indian, Pakistani, or Chinese origin were 28% less likely to get an interview. Although 28%, I mean, that's not 50%.
No.
Members of the younger generation may fabricate their work experience because they simply do not have to be, they don't have enough of the qualifications to be considered for the job. So they might add a little few more things.
Bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good idea, though, to fake a resume. As a matter of fact, in most states, it's a criminal activity. If you lie about on your resume, say it's something that you did but really did. Like a lot of people like to go and say they did this in college, but they didn't really have that particular course. Now, I'm assuming that's what the background check would do, right?
Yeah.
I would think. So what are people lying about? Here are the 8 most common resume lies that people tell. Number 8, employer references is number 8. Now, that could come back to bite you one way or the other. Now, we have a family member, I'm not going to mention, he's had some issues with someone that he worked with, never had an issue with the job itself, and for some reason,
someone that was there,
he's blackballing him, and he used him as a reference, he said to, and now he's back blackballing him. So that's really...
And he told him to use him as a reference.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so
and then
obviously you take him off because really you're not supposed to do that.
No.
That they say if you're a reference, you're to, I don't know, if you could probably be, he showed up every day.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go into detail, but to actually prevent someone from getting a job because you're saying something that is not even true.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 7, job-specific software and or equipment skills. We talked about that earlier. Maybe you say you have an IT degree and maybe something even more advanced, but you really don't. Well, they're going to find that out in a hurry.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about that. The salary information is number 6. So people lying about maybe how much money they were making previously. High school details.
And that could bite you because, look, another family member, some lower salaries won't even look at him because he had a higher salary. And the whole reason he wants a lower is because of the working. He doesn't want to be on call 24/7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that salary came with a price.
Yeah, he worked a lot of hours.
Oh, yeah, and all
7
hours
days a
of the
week
night. And so I think companies need to be more aware of that. But look at your title. Yeah, and I work 24/7 for that money.
I'm looking for something.
Yeah, I would get home and get to bed, and an hour later they would call me and I expect me right back out.
Right.
And, that's why I am choosing a different job now,
Yeah. We already said high school details is number 5. I guess some of the courses you took in high school. I don't know. That come back to get you.
I mean, if you say you took biology and you never did, and you're applying for something that you need basic biology, it could bite you.
What if I really had 4 gyms and 3 study halls? And that's all I took. Would that give me the job?
But you had to have your basics. So
number 4, personal details such as age, location, or name. We talked about the name earlier. I don't know what location or age. I guess, age is, they say companies aren't discriminatory against age, but I think, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder because if you're in your upper 50s, it's funny, Joe and I my boss, we were talking about when the last job I was at, and I was not sure what I was going to do because I'm in my 50s. What's my next step? Where am I going to go?
Because it looked like they were closing.
Because it looks like they were closing. And then I told him, I said, an hour later you called, and then, and the rest is history. But I've been blessed. There's no two ways about it.
Because I think some companies are leery to hire people at our age because you don't have that many years and you're going to retire.
Yes, I do believe that, yes.
But now, like, for school districts, like where I work, sometimes they won't hire these teachers that maybe subbed or moved back. Maybe they were living down south someplace or someplace else and they've moved back in the area, and they don't give the older ones a chance. They hire these young college ones. But if they were smart about it, they would never get to the top step and they would retire. If you only want to give them 10 years seniority or whatever. But, I mean, they probably could use that to their advantage, but they don't think of it that way.
Well, I think sometimes age is also, I lost the word is knowledge.
Yes.
What's the other word?
Yeah,
experience.
Yes.
When you, and again, it depends on, I don't know what
job it is, yeah.
I don't know if you'd apply for a job you didn't think you could have a chance at without some experience.
Yeah.
And sometimes, to me, age, it comes with responsibility because these are responsible. It all depends, I know. But for me, we had a business We had a video business, and the people that we kept were absolutely fantastic. I mean, these ladies worked
for our previous owner, yeah,
and then they took over for us, and they were just they were great.
Yeah, they were.
Well, they stayed around.
They welcomed us.
Yes,
they taught
yes.
us what they did know about the business, and they stayed around until they were done, and we kept them till they wanted to be done.
Oh, they were they were amazing, amazing people. Some people lie on their resume about college degree or equivalent. That's number 3. Their skills is number 2. And I could see skills, adding a little embellishment here and there to try and,
put you at the top of the list instead of the bottom.
But that could come back to get you too, depending on, how much you say.
Or if they test
skill.
you, or if they do tests.
Yeah, a lot of companies do have tests before you even get there.
Ours does. So.
And then number 1, previous work experience, again, can be embellished. Some people, I guess, thinking they could fudge it, but I think that could, again, I don't think you could, because that's going to
If they call the work history, then you're caught.
Well, not only that, it's going to show up eventually, even when you take the job.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to see what you know and what you don't know eventually.
I mean, some of the places we've worked are closed. I mean, a lot of yours are.
Yeah, it's there's jobs that I took that I thought I was going to retire
from.
I really did. I can say Fairmont because it's retired, or it's closed now. And I really thought at the beginning that was a job that, boy, even my uncle said, "Oh man, you can retire from there." And you're thinking that, you never say never, but you always think, "Oh, maybe I can ride off in the sunset and everything be okay." But to be honest, maybe it was. I mean, it was a blessing for me because I ended up
getting a
lot better job. So, and Terry can retire. All right, when we come back, let's talk about some predictions that were made in 1923 for 2023 and see if any of them even come close. We'll talk about that coming up next. So you want to start a podcast, maybe you're listening to the show today and you're thinking to yourself, boy, that would be fun, and I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe today is the day. Maybe you're looking for a new marketing channel, or you have a message that you'd like to share with the world, or you just think it would be fun to have a talk show. Now, it is a lot of fun just talking to your friends. Maybe you have ideas about sports, life, or whatever your passion is. Today's the day. Podcasting is easy, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun way to expand your reach online. And where should you go? Buzzsprout. It's hands down the easiest, and it's the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. And your show, believe it or not, can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories in minutes, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and you wouldn't believe how many more there are. And they make it simple to join all of them. Podcasting is not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is the team to join. They are passionate about your success. You can join over 1,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. We're one of them. We've been on Buzzsprout from the beginning, and I'm so glad I joined up. I had a little bit of an issue, emailed a customer service rep, and they got back to me within 5 minutes, and they had me calm down. It wasn't that hard, and what I was doing was my fault. So here's all you got to do. Click on the link in the show notes. It tells Buzzsprout we sent you. You can support our show, and if you get a paid plan, you get a $20 gift certificate from Amazon. Now, here's some other things that Buzzsprout provides. Like, you get a great looking podcast website. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I got to get a website, got to pay for that. No, you don't. They provide it for you. Also, they have audio players. Maybe you have a website. All you want to do is promote your show on your own website. You can do that with their audio players. And you can also drop it into other websites and on Facebook or Twitter. And they help you do it all. Believe me, Buzzsprout is the way to go. They've helped me immensely, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So maybe today is a day for you to start your podcast. And if you do, check out the link below in the show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card. Hello and welcome back to the second part of our podcast, Just Talking Out Loud. Terry and I are glad that you are here. We talked about resumes, and now we're going to talk about predictions that were made in 1923 about today. In 1923, experts took a stab at making predictions about life, what life would be like right now, 2023, 100 years. So here are some of the ones. Oh, by the way, this was compiled by a gentleman called Paul Ferry. He's a researcher at the University of Calgary, and he compiled a lot of these different, we only have a few predictions from 100-year-old newspaper clippings. So here is just a couple of them. Let me find one. One of them said that radio will replace gasoline. Now, I'm not sure exactly why radio waves, maybe that's what they were thinking back in 1923, was going to replace gasoline. I know we're trying to replace gasoline. People wanting to have electric cars. A friend of mine just drove an electric truck, a big one, and a Ford F-150 that cost $95,000 for an electric truck. But no thanks. I'll pass on the $95,000 electric car. But radio waves, I don't think radio is going to do it. Not yet. Who knows? Maybe they will. They also, back in 1923, said that all people will be beautiful. They said that beauty contests will be unnecessary because there will be so many beautiful people that it will be almost impossible to select winners. The same will apply to baby contests. So everybody will be beautiful. How about that? I think they missed on that one too.
Yeah.
Now, here's one that, it says here that like in 1923, they said life expectancy will be 100 years. There are a lot of people that are living to be 100 years old.
Yeah.
More than you
There's
think.
Still
or even
some
if they're
diseases out there that take people young, too.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people that make it to 100 or in their 90s.
Yeah.
And
pretty close.
There's a lot that are like still doing things in their 90s that I hope I can, do some of this stuff. They also predicted that we would be wearing kidney cozies. Now, you're probably wondering, what is a kidney cozy?
I don't know what it is, but if it keeps you cozy, I need one.
It will be worn to protect the kidneys on chilly days, just the same as a teapot in the north is kept warm by a tea cozy. Do they have a tea cozy? Like something they put around the teapot to keep the water? So yeah, kidney cozies. Now we have those little bags that people were wearing, those little, that you have one of those that you take on to like, Kennywood and stuff.
What's
it called? It's a little baggie. What's that little thing called? It looks ridiculous.
It's just like a money, it's like a belt.
It wraps
it's
around. Well, it's like, hey, almost, they're close.
You got
just
me
doesn't
way
protect
off here.
doesn't protect their kidney, but it's the same type of concept.
No, you actually carry something in it. It's not for warmth.
Maybe this had a zipper to put the warmer in for your kidneys. Utensils will be made of pulp. I think they're trying to change like straws and to get out of that. Private kitchens will disappear. That's not true. We're still
cooking for ourselves at home.
Cancer will be eradicated.
But don't we wish that one was true?
I wish that was true. I don't know that that's going to happen because there's too much money involved. 1923, they decided that women will probably be shaving their heads. Men will be wearing curls. Also, the maidens may pronounce it the height of style in personal primping to blacken their teeth. And it says here, won't that be pretty? That's Savannah News from 1923. So now I will say this about the shaven heads. There are women that do have the different styles now that, do the shave.
Partially shaved.
Some women are having
rainbow hair,
alopecia where they can't grow hair and they have to do it that way. So maybe now the blackened teeth thing. I think we've gone the opposite way because the people want to whiten their teeth. So that one, I would say, the shave their heads, they're close, but the blacken their teeth, not so much. And finally, this is by Dr. Charles P. Steinmetz. And he is an electrical expert. And he believed in 1923 that the time is coming when there will be no long drudgery, and there will people will toil not more than 4 hours a day. So he believed that people will be working just 4 hours a day, owing it to work of electricity. So because he was an electrical expert, he was thinking electricity was going to shorten the workday. He also visualizes an amazing transformation in life in 2023. Every city will be a spotless town that is to be the work of electricity also. So he was wishing
light up nights and stuff like that, which is
but
pretty,
I don't think our towns are spotless.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of homelessness. We have a lot of people that just like to throw. They like to say they care about the environment, but they're also the same people that throw their shit, their crap all over the. I almost said a bad word. All over the street. So, I mean, 4 hours a day. Now that would
be nice.
There has been.
There's been
studies
that say that the average person only works about 4 hours a day. Even though you're at work for 8 hours, you probably only work 4 of them.
I guarantee it, because of all the things that are going on. They're not working. First of all,
my job is feast or famine.
I don't know that you can concentrate for a steady 8 hours. There's going to have to be, well, obviously you have the lunch break, but some companies have 2 15-minute breaks. I just don't see it. I don't think it's possible. But if you're looking at his prediction and where we are today, a lot of people working from home. Now, how many hours are they putting in? And I don't want to rat anybody out, but I find it hard to believe that you're doing everything. I mean, you might get 4 hours of work, but I don't think you're doing much more.
I think though, when some jobs, when they were in the office, part of their morning was socializing, going and saying hello and socializing to everyone. And now that you're at home, you cut that hour of socialization out and you worked that hour. And so, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. Like you might have been in the middle of something, and then one of your coworkers comes by your cubicle or your office, starts up a conversation, and then you're trying to
help
do something.
them with a project or something, and then you get sidetracked and don't get back onto your own.
It's easy to do. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to do, and part of that, I think there are people that do miss that part, some of it, but maybe but it's been found that a lot of countries are doing this 4 hour, some are doing 4-day work weeks, and are finding that that's really been beneficial because their employees are more focused. They know they have a long weekend, and to re-energize, if you will. I see something in that 4-day. I know when I have this is my 4-day week, I have something to look forward to Friday, Saturday, getting things done. Having that day. I also think it saves me on vacation because I know I have that day to do those type of things. Now, although some doctors' offices aren't even open on Fridays.
Oh, yes, ours.
So, yeah.
Ours is one of them, yeah.
So, yeah, those are just some of the predictions from 1923 for today. And, okay, they were off on a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, but they tried. Maybe we should make predictions 100 years from now. 2123. Right? Is that how that works? 1923 to 2023. So I might have done really bad math. I'm glad Zach's not here. Do you still have your holiday decorations up? Some people change their tree to go from holiday to holiday. They do Christmas, but then they'll do Valentine's Day, or Easter. They'll do Easter,
4th of July.
Yeah,
red, white,
Memorial
blue.
Day, would that be, you could do that
Memorial
one.
Day, you could do red, white, blue
flag.
And keep it in there for 4th of July.
17% said they still have all their decorations up. 24% have some. 33% have none. We're in the 33%. 21% said, I don't even decorate. And 6% aren't sure. So 6% of people don't even know what they have. If they even have decorations up. Wow. Those are people you need to hire because they're very observant, obviously. So, yeah, do you have your Christmas stuff up? Or maybe you just change it over so you don't have to take it down. What's wrong with that? We've got some reasons why people are are calling it off with a partner. And these are some of them are strange. They did this study, and 65% have ended a relationship because of an ick, a trait that just turns them off.
Can't get over.
Yeah. And 88% of them have even ghosted someone completely because of something that just gave them the icks. Some of the strangest reasons, dirty fingernails. Does that, that's our, I wonder if it's
heat pump. The heat pump.
That's a heat pump, yeah. Mm-hmm. They might not have heard that.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, I don't hear this or I don't hear that on this podcast, and I hear everything. Yeah. We heard that, though.
Oh, yeah. That
probably sounded like Terry farted, but she really didn't. Dirty fingernail, that's an ick.
Dirty fingernail, yeah.
When is the first time you farted in front of me?
I don't know.
And when is a good time to fart in front of somebody when you're dating?
Never.
You don't think it's a good idea?
I don't know.
You wouldn't want to do it on the first date.
At some point, you have to. I mean, if you're on a long trip and it's got to come out, you know.
If you're eating,
it's like, excuse
like
me. And if you're
wings.
only two in the car, then you know it had to come from the other one. What did you do?
Yeah, I just had a big plate of beans. Let's go on a long trip. You're bound to have to let one loose. Yeah, they did. I think I have that somewhere on here. So when was the last time you farted? Or when is a good time to fart when you're in a dating relationship?
When you can run to the bathroom and let it out, not by them.
Yeah, but if you're in a an intimate situation, and you're kind of hot and heavy in the kisses, and all of a sudden you're
blowing your end, that's a turn off.
Or it would be silent but smelly.
Oh.
Right, and you're right there,
like
right?
Rotten eggs.
Yeah, you're like right close. You're kissing the neck, and then you go.
Oh.
Is that her, or is that just a? And do you say, "Well, sorry about that. I had a little farting." I don't know. Just wondered when.
Had a little gas.
So I was trying to remember when I farted in front of you. It was probably right in the beginning.
I don't remember.
I don't think so. I probably did and don't realize it. I did it. You know what I mean? Like now it's just both of us just kind of, we'll sit there watching TV and we're both blowing our ass. I don't know.
You get old and you just don't care.
Then the question is, do you feel better? Did that make you feel better after you So no, it really didn't, because I wish there was a turd behind it, because I'm all bloated. Is that an ick? Would that call?
That would.
So anyway.
Especially if they did it on purpose. If they ate something that they knew gave them gas every certain time, that would be an ick,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, here it is. Passing gas. When was the first time you passed gas in front of your significant other? I don't know. I really don't remember. We've been together for so long, and now we're just past gas like it's common sense. And we even leave the door open to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even close the bathroom door.
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, you get to a point where you're like,
we're just a little comfortable with each other.
We're comfortable. We've seen it all. You know what I mean? We've seen it all.
4 sets of doctors saw my rear end for the first baby. So, everyone in the hospital came and looked under that sheet.
3
so,
babies.
Anyone else want to take a peek down there,
Yeah, yeah, she's open for business. Not that kind of business.
But
not monkey business. This was just baby business. So here are some of the things that people gave up on their significant other. They just couldn't take the ick. Smelling bad. If you didn't smell bad, if you smell bad,
I think that would be a bad one. That would, especially in certain medicines. Like I know certain like mental health medicines and stuff make people smell like they have bad body odor and they sweat extra from it. And I would have to change the medicine because bad body odor is.
That would be, to me, that's the first one on the list. That's why I picked it.
Especially if you know that your partner bathes and they still have it, Yeah. Now, if they don't bathe and they just don't care what you think, they might be icked right out.
Well, some people are into this natural, like, underarm deodorant stuff, and I don't know that it works. I mean, I understand where you're trying to go with it. Maybe you're afraid of whatever these
chemicals.
Who knows
what chemicals we're putting
but
on us,
I don't want. I mean, I use the chemicals and sometimes still smell bad. I don't know what the heck's going on. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting it all over the armpit. The ball sweat I don't really worry about, but they have these like deodorants for your balls. I think if you have a lot of issues. So if you need, if you're smelling down there, there's options out there to clean up a little bit,
Yeah.
A little, Gina Tay for your nutsack. Anyway, how about pretending to be more knowledgeable about something than you really are? I mean, that's
Some people
we're all
are cocky that way.
We all think we know more than we probably know.
Yeah.
How about being rude to a waiter? If that person, if you're on a first date and they seem rude, or
I wouldn't. Yeah.
You wouldn't have a second date.
No.
Let me ask you this: on our first date, if I was to say to you that I wanted to split the food bill with you, how would that make you feel?
I don't know. Back in our day, it probably would have turned me off. But nowadays, I don't know if it would, just because things are so much higher priced. And it would probably depend on where we met. And
well, let's see.
Like if you're unemployed and I've got a good job, then
Yeah, can you pay for this one? I'll spot you this one. I'm gonna spot me this one. 73% are likely to judge you very negatively if you want to split the food bill. I was just kind of curious. Some other things that give people the ick, and they're giving up on their, I don't want to say their future partner, maybe, or maybe you're living together, living in a mess. I mean, if you're a messy person, you don't really clean the bathroom or the toilet, then that would kind of.
I mean, yeah, and some people just are piggy. Like if you're tripping over all their crap all the time. I mean, to trip over, once a week because you got in late and left it on the floor. But if you leave it there all the time and never pick it up, and you expect the other person to just go around it, it would get old.
Being overbearing and rude. Of course, that's the same as the rude to the waiter too. Mm-hmm. Dirty fingernails. Does that bother you? My fingernails. Well, I haven't had dirty fingernails in a long time since.
You worked at the machine shop, yeah.
I tried to wear gloves. Being too clingy. A lot of people are breaking up because they're too clingy.
I think our oldest broke up with his girlfriend from high school to college because of clinginess.
Too clingy?
Mm-hmm.
Talking too loudly.
That runs in my family.
Do you think that would be an ick? You could just say, well, then it would annoy. If you say to that person, you're talking too loud, and you keep saying it, then that would annoy that person, and he probably would talk loud anyway. Chewing with your mouth open. Oh, jeez. Having long fingernails. Well, that's different on a woman. I don't want to see them curl at the end, though.
Oh, yeah.
That freaks me out.
See how long they can get. And they go off long and then they curl around.
That just freaks me out for some reason. It's just, I don't know. It's like kind of circusy to me.
Yeah.
Sorry if you have really long fingernails. I apologize.
Curl,
but it just freaks me out.
You need to be in a show.
Yeah. Start your own TikTok. Make some money. Let's see. Oversharing on social media.
I'm telling you, a lot of people overshare on social media. Of course, I don't get on there at all, so that's the difference. I do get on there every once in a while.
We don't post a lot of stuff. That might be why our show's not going anywhere. I get
on there every once in a while, like to see what my cousins or someone from my past is, post. But
yeah, we're more into that than, if we posted more, maybe we'd have more people listening. Because we'll
have to work on that.
Yeah, because I think if we, and I'm not saying personal, but even stuff that we've got coming up, posting more stuff like how would you feel about this or that, or what is there something that
getting feedback for
is there something that gave you the ick and you gave up on someone, you're like ghosted that person, like maybe they wore a tacky watch. That wouldn't bother me. It's just a watch.
Yeah.
Putting on a baby voice, So, hi, baby. You just look so cute, and I don't know. That wouldn't work. No. Not wearing socks with shoes.
A lot of people are like that right now.
Yeah,
that's like an in thing right now, isn't it? Your ankle showing, your pant legs are high waters. When in our day, that was what was they called? Where you going? You going to the flood? Yeah, flood waters.
Floods are in.
And floods are in now. You have your ankle showing in a short shoe, and your ankles are out there with no socks. That's what's in now.
Having shoes that are too dirty.
Oh yeah, I've seen dirty shoes. But
breathing heavily. See, I like when you breathe heavy.
You're so sick.
When you call me, hey, baby. I like that part. I wouldn't say that's an ick. That would be like, I'd just call you all the time just to hear you breathe.
You're something else.
Or wearing shoes you don't like. So that person's wearing shoes you don't like. So that would be the ick. That's the only thing you can think of to get rid of them. How about wearing too much makeup?
Now I've seen.
I'd like to see. I like the natural look. I mean, this is who you are. If you come into bed, I don't even know who you are. That's a little too much makeup. Who are you?
A lot of girls wear a lot of makeup.
They do it. They pack it on. Wanting to share food on the first date.
I probably wouldn't do that.
Some people not paying on the first date. We talked about that already. Turn some people off. Clapping when an airplane lands.
Clapping when an airplane lands?
Because they're like happy that the plane landed and they're clapping, and people are like, why are you clapping? So it must have turned them off. I don't know. Wearing bad jeans. Is that an ick?
Jeans are jeans, aren't they? I don't know.
Wear
right now they're all holy.
That have holes in it anyway.
Baggy. Everything's in right now. Baggy, straight leggers, tight. You can wear them any way you want.
Wearing sunglasses indoors. I never figured that out either. Indoors. You're indoors. What do you got sunglasses on for? Unless you're playing poker.
Cool man Joe.
Poker.
Yeah.
You can't, because maybe your eyes give it away. Like, oh, I got some really, saying pet names like honey or baby. Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Can you breathe heavy for me? Wear those ugly sneakers. What else? Those are the better ones. Wearing bad jeans, sunglasses, having too many shirt buttons undone. Like halfway down to your navel, and you don't really have the chest to really pull that off. You know what I mean? Like
cover it up.
I mean, it's just something about you have your shirt all the way buttoned
to your beer. You might be a little bit egotistic for me,
Wearing socks to bed turns people off. But Terry wouldn't be able to sleep without socks on.
My feet are cold. I got popsicle toes.
Wearing creased clothes. We'll leave it on that one. See, I don't like the shirt nipples. I do because
on your shoulders.
Because you get those. I don't care what hangers I get. The stupid thing always creates this shirt nipple. It's one thing when your nipples are pointing out if you have nipples, but I don't want them on my shoulders. You know what I mean? Like right now, you're covering yourself up, so I'm sure you're cold.
You're so sick. I'm always cold.
But that's a good look. The shirt nipples is not a good look.
Well,
free the nipple. That's what's going on right now. Free the nipple.
Okay.
Didn't you ever hear this? I'm telling you, it's out there now. Women are just tired of being bound by the bra, and they're freeing the nipple. One day we'll all be able to free the nipple and the pee-pee.
You're so sick.
No one wants to see the pee-pee, I'm telling you right now. No. I'm telling you, I don't know what God was thinking, but that is not a pretty thing. Let's be honest.
No comment.
Nothing to say?
No comment.
When it's like saluting, that's the only time it looks halfway decent. All right, we'll leave on that. We're done. All right, Zach is finally getting back to me. We'll see what he says. Trying to fix a car that has a dead battery. All right, so, hey, don't forget to subscribe to our show. You can listen to our show on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or on iHeart. We are on, we're on all over, but no one's listening. It's just you and me talking to ourselves.
Which is fine for now.
That's all right. We're getting there. It's a little by
We're having fun.
You can also follow us on Facebook or Twitter, just Talking Out Loud. And it's Talkin, Talkin. I think that might be screwing because there's a talking and a talkin', and we're talking.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of might screw that up too. And you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter. You can also get a hold of us, justtalkingoutloud@gmail.com. However you want to listen to us, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. We are out.
Have a blessed week.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.